being a minute late. We're about to be starting the show. We're starting the show now as I walk into the studio. I just ran home from the brewery. Free beer day, gotta love it. And I'm just learning to dial in our new timelines here in my world. So I apologize for the wait, but I am here. It was only a minute maybe a minute and 5 seconds. So 2 seconds. Let me grab a beer, and then we're gonna go get this party started. We've got the seeds down as of yesterday. They've been soaking for 24 hours now, everybody. And we've gone entirely with Galactic Citrus Shiva. That's correct. Galactic Citrus Shiva is the strain we'll be rocking. And we're going to have all of that up and running for everybody very, very, very soon. Woo, we did it. Hey, what's happening, Chris Barton? Good to see you, buddy. What's happening, WB Growers? Let's go back to the beginning here and say hi to everybody. All right. What's happening, Return to the Back? Good to see you, buddy. What's happening, Chef Life 420? Good to see you, buddy. Actually, fun news for you, Chef Life 420. I'm actually the kitchen manager and head chef of the Mountain View Brewing now. All right. What's happening, Van Island Beauty? Good to see you. What's happening, Mud Swat? Good to see you. All right. Who have I missed? Chris Barton, hello to you again. UK Flower Power. What's happening, baby? With a name like that, we need to get you some power plant to grow. All right, or maybe some purple power plant, even nicer. All right, what's happening, Miss K's Garden? Good to see you. What's up? Handy F. What's Handy F stands for? Like handy fucker, handy female? I got some dirtier jokes I could make on that one that I'm not going to. All right. No, but I'm pretty excited, everybody. We got all the beans down. We're going to have that room fired back up very, very shortly. And I'm pretty stoked to be back and doing our thing. Exciting news that we shared in the show yesterday, we'll share it again, is that in actuality, it's last name. Okay, cool. One of my last names starts with an F too. All right. What's up, JP Page 2? How you doing? UK Flower Power, dirty old gits. How did you know what I identify? Oh, man. Things are going good, though, here at Potsquatch Growers. You know what I mean? Like, I really thrive, actually, on being busy. So running this kitchen and helping this brewery to kind of, like, you know, make the best food in home. That's what we're going for, at least with what we do. And to put, you know, this brewery on the map, not just for its beer, but for its food, right, is going to be fun for Uncle Potsquatch. And, I mean, you know, if there's one thing stoners typically we know, it's like, you know what? We know what to eat. We know what tastes good. We know what makes our souls happy. So that's kind of where I'm having fun with it and sort of building this new menu and stuff like that for the brewery. All the while, I'm feeling really invigorated. You know, that little break really helped me get more energy in my body and kind of getting excited about the new runs, the new how-to videos, and the furthering of the CBD line and the actual website itself and shit. Hey, we love you too, Einstein. I hope you're doing well over in Sweden. How you doing, my Swedish brother? What's up, Eugene Dolan? I'm doing well, buddy. I just, like, rushed home. I made it. I was a minute late for the show. I mean, I stayed a little bit longer, though, because I was trying to get the chicken chopped after prepping all the kale and shit for the chicken kale Caesar wrap that we do at the brewery. And, you know, yeah, good times, everybody. Good times. Woo! I'm here, though. I'm here. We did it. It was so funny because if it wasn't for school zones, I would have made the show completely on time. But, you know, they frown upon driving over 30 in a school zone. So, you know, well, I went 50. But, you know, there was no kids about. It was fine. It was only 2 blocks. We were fine. So, Einstein, you know, it was just really busy here. Trying to get everything ready for 420. Getting all the website stuff going. Getting all these other kind of and sundry items. Like, there's a lot of administrative stuff that happens behind the scenes here at the show now. Given that we're an international company, we are the first ever franchisee is going to be opening up an online digital store to serve the United Kingdom. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to terms and agreement. Return of the Mac, our boy Mac here, is going to be the first ever franchisee of Potsquatch Growers. He's going to be bringing the CBD line, the swag line, and all the wonderful goods and products we release to market for the people of the United Kingdom. EU, the rest of the world, you get it from me. Mac is going to take care of the UK. So that's really fun. I'm pretty stoked. We've got a beautiful website being built for him. We've got a beautiful website built for us. They're all kind of connected and talking mildly at least. And it's going to be really good. Like, we're really stepping stuff up, everybody. We're going to be expanding the CBD line. Boom, we're launching our own hemp dart cigarettes, everybody. That's right. We're launching our own hemp cigarettes. What does that mean? It's like a cigarette, but it's just hemp. No nicotine, no tobacco, no negative add-ons of chemicals or bullshit. All organic biomass sourced for you by your Uncle Potsquatch. And it's going to be a good time, you know what I'm saying? Hey, no worries, Jason A. And I mean, I know it can be really scary too on certain topics like that, about in terms of shock, in terms of bounce back, in terms of certain things. Obviously, every strain, every phenotype is going to be a little different at times. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's totally doable. It's totally a fucking thing. And I wasn't worried. I know it can be worrisome, especially when we're getting used to that. And I will say that, like, the longer you're a grower, the more you can resist kind of the worry or the stress on things. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I still don't stress about certain things and stuff like that. So don't ever feel bad about that. You know what I mean? For those of you new to the show, please, if you're into it, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Those likes and those subscriptions is how we fight YouTube and how we continue to bring you the content that we are and grow the channel and grow the brand so that we can be the most empowered that we can be to try to help the weed titty people the world over. Yeah, the crushed sapling's picking up. Hell yeah, that's it, Bud Swat. Go out and talk to the crushed sapling and be like, hey, yo, Uncle Potsquatch says you can do it. I'll, I'll send you some psychic energy right now to infuse into the plant. All right, so Mud Swat, it's coming into your brain and your hands now. Now, when you can, go out to the plant and talk to it. Put your hands on it. It's going to be all right. Now, I figured that's what you meant. Yeah, we can call it a sapling. It does kind of make kind of resonant sap, so yeah. Oh, I know. And Mudswat, imagine if I'm like not still buzzing from work and I actually can focus a little bit. Little known fact is Uncle Potsquatch is actually a shamanistic energy healer on the side. I've been a weird thing with different abilities since I was a kid, but that's just a good time. Handy F, very soon. Very soon. They're actually going to be available via the website. It may not be the second the website goes live, but they will be available quite soon thereafter. Also, I will say, cheers to you, my friends. Cheers to each and every one of you, new and old. People who are tuning in the show going, who the hell is this weird guy? I thought it was about weed. There's no plants. There'll be plants soon. Don't worry about that. We've got over 700 videos of us with plants. All right, we're going to even have plant videos coming up for you about growing food and shit. That's right. Potsquatch Growers. We don't just grow food. Or pot, you know what I mean. But anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. For those of you who are new, like I said, like, subscribe, tell your friends. It's a safe place for all people, and we are the Potsquatch Growers Army. We are an international movement and organization. We are an international corporation. We are the most affordable CBD line in the world. We're also one of the most affordable professional grade lighting systems in the world, and the only company designing our shit to be fixed after warranty. That's right. In our humble 2 cents, if you buy something that's an electronic technology piece like a grow light, you should have the bloody right to fix it. We should also keep the design simple enough that I can call you in a video call and explain to you how to do so. All right, that's what we do. That's what we're about. Hell yeah. Oh, then Mudswat, we got to do an experiment on that one. I'll focus real hard later. And maybe I won't tell you when I'm doing it. And then when you sense it and me coming into your mind, you'll have to, like, message me saying you sensed it. Jason A says, I got Bruce Brenner and Z Skittles going. Right now, seeds popped 3 weeks ago, but outgrew solo cups quick. Now that happens. I mean, at the end of the day, and especially, like, some of you who are newer growers might go, well, when is my solo cup beginning to get root locked? When is it beginning to be ready for that transplant? Well, when we see that sort of first singular serrated, classically, that'll come up on most plants, begin to self-cannibalize, in order to feed sort of the top 2, 3, or 4 nodal growths, that's the height after that first initial sort of singular serrated of where it's going to go to when it starts to do that. That's when we know, okay? When we see that, that's when we know it's ready to transplant, okay? So basically, I actually like to let not only the first singular serrated, but usually the first trifoliate as well, to self-cannibalize before I transplant. I want a root-locked solo cup. Because then when I go and transplant it, and I use my handy-dandy little rooting hormone technique and transplant, okay, Those of you, some of you know what that is. Some of you may not. We can explain that later. Basically, just put rooting hormone in the water. It's a bit of a cheat, but it works. That's when we do it, because then we're gonna have this kind of like root explosion. It's like a grenade in the dirt, and it's gonna blow the fuck up. It's crazy. It's good times. You know what I'm saying? Ashley Clifford, good question. Great question. What are we growing next? We are going to be doing an exclusive singular run of a new F1 genetic of our own creation. We are going with the Galactic Citrus Shiva, which is, what is a Galactic Citrus Shiva, other than hopefully dank as fuck? Well, it is the crossing of the Orange Hindu Kush, my favorite pheno that came out of that, went into that breeding town. It was short, it was squat, it had tight nodes, it had very indica leaves, like huge indica leaves. Had the nicest flower formation even when it's seeded, and this funk to it. Like, it was the oranginess of that clementine orange, but with a friggin' heavy, funky dose to it, which wasn't really prevalent as much in other ones. And that then has been impregnated by an alien rift male from ocean grown seeds from Vader OG. So I hope that is exciting for you. It's exciting for us, actually. 1 second here. I'm just reading now. I'm playing catch up. Oh, good. Wasn't that much. Woohoo! Hey! It would have been roughly 2 and a bit, because like I've got a feeling it was almost at like a year and a smidgen into our production that we released the racks. Maybe a year and a half into our light brand existing that we built the double squatch racks. That'd be my guess. That'd be my guess, Roman. And thank you very much for your kind words. I mean, we really do pride ourselves on the tech we build. Um, you know, uh, and our mission on anything we do as a company is to build something affordable, accessible, reliable, and dependable. Empowering people is the basic sentiment to anything we will do as a company. Okay, we're what I call a socialist capitalistic company. We're not against making money. It's kind of the point of being a company. But we can make honest money without gouging you. We don't have to make $1 billion per unit. We can be profitable and cash positive by becoming the main supplier to most people around the world. And why would you go buy overpriced lights when you can get something just as good, if not better, for cheaper, and you can fix it? Or why would you go spend $250 for 10 beans from somewhere stupid like Copycat Genetics that in the last couple of years have gotten even worse and absolutely shite? Well, call me. We'll sell you 50 or 25 beans for 50 bones. That's right. Hashtag boom. That's called the way you're supposed to price seeds, not gouging people and basically poning them up the rectum. Trying to swear less so YouTube gets not as mad at me. So actually, it was funny. Well, it's not really funny. It's kind of sad. There was someone on Instagram, and I saw they had not only a bunch of the seeds from Copycat Genetics did not pop. They only got males and a Hermie. That was it. And they're like, I spent $250 on these 10 seeds, and I got nothing for it. And so I just quietly reached out to him yesterday. I was like, look, shoot me your address. I'll send you seeds. I'm going to send them a 25 pack of seeds. I might even send them 2 just to be nice. Because at the end of the day, people who spend their hard-earned money on genetics have a right for good beans. Okay? And so, yeah. Jason A., fairly soon, buddy. Quite soon. Yeah, so, and again, Roman too. How we design our tech. The basic design of our tech is designed to, simply put, basically run every single day. It's based on the parts that we use in it, right? Everything's graded for kind of a 50,000 hour run time on those parts, right? So let's do the basic math. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, 50,000 hours at like an 18.6. So that's 18 hours on, 6 hours off. So that's basically our veg window, right? 7.6 years, and it'll still be running. And the fact is the maximum efficacy lost on that tech by the time you hit 7.6 years of continual daily use will be no more than 10%. And we highly doubt it would even get close to 10. We really pride ourselves in the parts we carry, and we put shit together. You know what I'm saying? Monorail says, I bought a pack from the BC store that opened near me for 30. Only got 5. Whoa, wait. 30 bones for 5 beans? I mean, one, that's still too expensive in my humble 2 cents. But two, that's actually not as bad as some of the bean companies out there. I've seen people charge from 65 to $100 for 3 to 5 beans. It's astonishing. 10 beans from Dink Dinks, copycat Dink Dink fucks. That's costing, $250 on a lot of strains or more sometimes. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I've seen 10 packs where people are charging 3 or 4 grand. One, if a genetic is that old and that rare and that hard to come by and you truly have it, you have a moral obligation to the love of cannabis and the love of industry to not only make a crap ton of those seeds, don't gouge people, make it accessible, bring it back so it's not rare. If it was good enough to be missed, maybe people would like to have it going forward. And we're so close to having genetic integrity go out the window when it comes to cannabis, that taking care of these things and watching out for these things is of the utmost importance. In my humble 2 cents, anyway. Hell yeah, Roman. Hell yeah. Well, a million seeds at $2 a seed is $2 million, actually. That's why. Okay, cool. You caught it too. It's all right. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, too, right? I'm going to explain to you at home why we price seeds the way we price them. Okay, one tiny plant, and by tiny, what do I mean by that? Let's say it's 2.5, 3 feet tall, maybe 3 feet wide. Right? That one plant can produce anywhere from 2 to 10,000 viable seeds. Everybody. So let's go on a median there. Let's call 7,000 seeds or median, okay? 7,000 seeds at $2 a bean, okay? That's $14,000. $14,000 generated by one plant. You could do that in a 2x2 grow tent. If you trained it out properly and up and over and in, like you could do that, is my point. You can train it in such a way that it doesn't even have to go to that 3 feet wide to do that. And so then you've got these seed companies that aren't even taking their job seriously. They aren't even hand selecting seeds. They're not hand selecting anything, and they're not making sure things are viable. They're not testing anything. They're not properly stabilizing anything. You can't do fuck all, as far as they're concerned, I guess. And then they have the audacity to turn around and charge what they do during the day, as it were, daylight robbery, of honest, hardworking people. And a lot of people that are their consumers aren't rich people. They aren't people with a lot of money. They're people who are trying to live a better quality of life, who are dealing with medical issues, who are trying to empower themselves and produce their own bloody medicine. How dare you charge that? Well, guess what? None of them are going to be in business for very long if I'm on the scene doing what I'm doing. Because guess what? Why would you go buy shit that's crap from them when you can go buy good shit from me and I'm going to not charge you that much? Hey! If I could do that with one plant, imagine what I could do with a facility of hundreds. Seeds for everybody. Roman Reckless. I said viable seed. So again, all of our prematures and non-viables are hand-selected, removed out, and will not be sold. Or if we were to ever sell them, we'd sell like $1 billion for nothing. I mean, I'm keeping all my premature seeds because a lot of premature seeds will pop. Actually, I've actually had some killer phenos come out of preemies, by the way. I would never sell them though. For me, I've kind of always had this sort of romanticized kind of thing in my head. I was like, man, we could come like squatchy chronic seed and just like go all over Canada, just start like randomly planting weed everywhere. Seed here, seed here, seed here, seed here, seed here, seed here. Let's bring land races back. It'll probably take a decade for them to go fucking make their own thing under Mother Nature's rules, but hey, there you go. Hey, what's up, Keith Matthews? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show, buddy. No, exactly. And I mean, monorail, at the end of the day, for me personally, as a breeder, like I don't really want to buy someone's stabilized work, to be honest, unless you're someone that I like truly revere and respect, like Shanti Bubba, for example, or something like that. Typically, I'm personally more interested in getting F1s because I don't know, I kind of have a little more faith in myself to stabilize stuff out a little bit. And so having that sort of plethora of phenotypes locked within that genetic, that's worth it. But an F1 does not go for the price of an F5 or an F6. Funny fun fact story. I don't think we'll ever really increase our price on seeds on the F1s or I mean the F2s, F3s, F4s, F5s, F6s, or if we ever get up higher than that, you know what I mean? Which we will. It takes time, it takes years, and they're like, well, I worked so hard on this. Okay, good, awesome. Go share it with the world, and don't rip them off to share it with the world. Because guess what, Buttercup? You can make more seeds in about 2 or 3 months and have a shitload more. Go fuck off, you greedy piece of shit. Yes, am I targeting that at most seed suppliers in the world right now? Yep. Don't like it? I live in hope. Come shut me up. It's good to see you too, Keith Matthews. Good to see you too, buddy. Well, there is no law on that. I mean, typically, what I can say on outdated seeds, one, you either sell them at a super discount. Shanti Bubba, how he does it is basically every 4 years, because Shanti Bubba long-term storage, he stores his stuff in a freezer. I don't think, my personal 2 cents, even though, yes, I am contradicting Shanti Bubba, I'm okay with that. It's my personal humble 2 cents, and I'm not necessarily a new to the game either. Is that I don't personally feel that you really need to keep them in a freezer. I think you can actually put them into a proper non-reactive glass storage, keep them away from light, keep them at a lower temp, and don't have that temp. That temp fluctuating is what fucks seeds. But every 4 years, Shanti Bubba will then take things out of the freezer and put them on auction and sell them in bulk. Realistically, we'll probably do the same thing because it's a practice that I believe in. It's a practice that makes sense, and I think it's a practice that it's actually quite beautiful. Will we ever keep some of those? Oh yeah, like any batch of seeds I ever create, I will always have some small sampling of them forever. Why? Because I don't know. When you become a breeder and a seed collector, I mean, you're like, oh, I want more. You always want more. You never, you always got to have more things. And it's kind of the life of the breeder and the life of the grower that loves collecting seeds. So stash them away and love them. Right? Well, see, then you feel me exactly, Miss Kay's Garden, 100% then. Yeah, so, and Ganjanani or Mama, I mean, a fun fact is there's actually been seeds that have come out of canopic jars that are like 5 to 7,000 years old in ancient Egypt that came out of, sealed canopic jars in tombs, and they germinated. True story. That's a blast from the past, if I ever heard one. And Roman, we're going to have to do a trade of some sort, because I want to try some of that Khalifa Godzilla cross. Do you have any Khalifa Kush on its own seeds, Roman? Oh, thank you very much, Mudsquatch. Mudsquatch. I think I'm just going to call you Mudsquatch now. Bear with me. I'm just reading here, everybody. No, that's okay. That's why there were a few more likes a few minutes ago. I may have offended someone with what I said, but oh no, if I offended you, good. I'm making you think. And at the end of the day, there is some inherent issues with how status quo business is done in cannabis and how seeds are done, how technology is done, how CBD is done, how a lot of things are done in our industry. And I am on a mission to change it. And we will. We'll get there. At the end of the day, I'm pretty hard to kill, so if you don't like it, tough cookies. Let's all be honest. Of course, Uncle Potsquatch, let's be honest. Do I maybe get off a little bit pissing off big companies, my competitors? Do I get off redefining an industry? Do I get off maybe making it such that unless you play to the sound of my fiddle now and adopt the new rules that I'm personally just as one man creating as far as I view the industry, you might not be able to do business anymore? Yeah, it's kind of hot, isn't it? It's kind of fun. I'm not here to make friends with them. I'm here to empower the people and the growers around the world. That's what I'm here to do. Anyone who has decency, ethics, morals, and general good business acumen at the same time, will have no issue with anything I'm saying because that's just called good business. Well, yeah, right. In this case, I'm very curious to see kind of how some of these things. The one thing I'm really excited about it on this F1 is just to see how the Galactic Citrus Shiva comes out. I'm so curious to see on the possible different things it could do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thank you very much, Seymour Cannabis. Well, Montreal. I mean, I'm not originally from BC, but I mean, I discovered marijuana as a young preteen in BC. I taught myself to grow in BC. I am a BC grower. I consider myself a BC person. Um, been here a long time. And, not to say that the BC way is the only way, but it's definitely a very valid way. And there's a reason why we ruled the world for weed for a long time. And we'll still go to toe with anybody in the world. And hell, more than likely we'll win. And that is a safe bet, my humble 2 cents. I love it, Einstein. Hey, Trichrome's Rock to your thoughts. Welcome to the show, buddy. Yeah, we're back to the old content. So, everyone, just for your reference, just to reiterate here, the shows now are Sundays at 5 p.m. my time here in British Columbia, Canada, and then 1:30 on Mondays. So, typically on a Monday morning, I'm going into the brewery, getting a bunch of prep done. I'm getting them set up in the kitchen for success. And then I'll fuck off and I'll come here and do the show. And then I'll probably sneak back as well to do a little bit more work after the show. Dude, that's awesome, Roman. I get very excited when nubile vegetating plants carry such a strong smell to it. Oh, Keith Matthews, I don't know what to say to that. I am not a god. I would never even call myself a master grower, even though technically I meet the requirements for that term. I am but a simple fool, a bald bearded idiot with opinions, who has a few neurons left that communicate. And I personally view certain things to work certain ways in terms of business. Um, and so I will truly guarantee you that there will never come a day when I am not me. Many in the world may not like it, tough cookies. But I will always humbly share happily my humble 2 cents on things. And I don't mind you learning from me at all. I don't mind you maybe looking up per se to me if that's what you choose to do. But I am not a god. I am not a this or a that. I'm just a regular person, a balding bearded idiot who loves marijuana and the human race and trying to help people in our community and our industry. But thank you ever so much for your very, very kind words and elations. I truly do appreciate it humbly, and you do make a honky blush very, very deeply inside. And I do appreciate it. Well, Keith, I'm so happy that I've helped you learn and helped you be successful and have fun with things. What's up, Wally Fish? I'm doing well. How you doing, my friend? Hey, if you're driving, be safe, man. Stay lifted and medicated, and our thoughts go out to you as well. Oh, I feel you, Fred Fury. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading. Mudslide, you should maybe try some of Mikey's seeds. Hey, much love, Seymour Cannabis. Oh, no, I feel you, Roman. I know it's a clone only, so I'd have to get a feminized version of it. But I mean, if you even had that, I'd trade for that. Even though I hate feminization, I just wanna. I've smoked straight Khalifa Kush on its own before, and I was quite impressed by it. I'd love to check it out on the rest of it, or like growing it myself. I mean, bear with me. I'm reading. Dude, that must have been a big plate of lasagna if you're still sitting there, Stony Baker MD, eating that there. For those of you who are new to the show, liking and subscribing definitely helps. It definitely helps with our stats and with our battle against YouTube to validate and accept cannabis content here. And no, I thought it was funny, Mud Sweat. Don't feel bad. Right? No, and Eugene Dolan, those are two things we have in a huge quantity. Maple syrup and marijuana. Those are both staples of Canada. Einstein. Shh. I'm just joking. Oh no, I feel you, Trichrome's Rocky Socks. I'm just glad you're here today, buddy. All right. What's up, grown up growth? Good to see you, my friend. Well, Stone Baker MD, I'll tell you, buddy. I mean, at the end of the day, I enjoy genuinely helping people and giving back. At the end of the day, I'm a simple prick. As long as my mortgage is paid and I got my family taken care of, I got a few cold beer to drink, and some dead animals to eat and some veg to eat, some pot to smoke. I guess juice for this stupid thing now that I don't smoke. I normally used to say, tobacco, but I don't smoke that anymore. So, no, I genuinely enjoy giving back and helping. It makes me happy. It makes me feel good. And also one of the most rewarding, wonderful things in my entire career as a professional cannabis person has been watching others be successful, watching people go from that first grow to truly killing it to then maybe even opening up their own company, which a few of them have done under my help and the help of many others, obviously. But it is just so cool to watch, and I love watching and sharing the love for growing and cannabis with others. I love watching a new grower get excited and fall in love with it the way I have. And just to see that excitement. I mean, because the excitement as a grower, it's probably the closest thing I could liken it to would be like when we were kids, maybe on Christmas morning, or when you're a kid and you get to go to ride the roller coaster or do something nifty or go to a haunted house or hell, maybe it's simple, like even just getting to spend time with your family and going to see a movie or something like that. That's kind of excitement we're talking about. It's that magical wonder of youth, and being a grower, doesn't matter how old you get, that never goes away if you fall in love with growing weed. You know what I'm saying? So, hell yeah. Okay, well, if you ever get that done, Roman, let me know, buddy. What's up, CSLRC Lauren? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. All right. No, and it happens, Jansen Dennis. Like it was funny, like and that'll happen sometimes, right? And one of the funny things, like Texas and a bunch of other, gazzers and a bunch of other people around the world, they're like, "Yo, man, I found this random weed plant growing in my lawn today." And I'm like, "Dude, that's magical. That's so pretty." Yeah, no, and then Roman, yeah. So when it comes to sort of the spraying to kind of trigger to knock itself up, I mean, starting fairly early on is kind of important. Um, yeah, and so yeah, like I mean, it's like you can do it later, but then you got to run it way later too, and it's like yeah, getting it that early fertility window of that first kind of starting a flower is so imperative in my humble sense, a humble 2 cents to get that one working. Yeah, like reeling in a huge fish. I love that, Derek Cloud. That's a great way to put it. That's what? No, that is totally fine. If it's super dry, hydrate it. You'll be good to go. Put it this way, Mud Swat, if dirt getting too dry there for an extended period of time screwed it up, man, the whole planet would be barren. We all be dead and not here. Actually, that's a great way, a great point to also share with everybody too, is that remember what we're doing, especially when it comes to in terms of indoor growing. Okay, we are emulating Mother Nature. Okay, so Mother Nature has certain kind of basic rules and functions. Some things can be bent, some things can actually be broken indoors too. But we should never lose the understanding of what we're doing. And what we're doing is on a microcosm emulation, recreating Mother Nature and building indoors a controlled environment utilizing the same basic rules, laws, and bendable rules and breakable laws and ones that don't break or bend of Mother Nature. And also the genetic in and of itself, which in my mind is an extent or an extension of Mother Nature. Okay. So one could liken it to we're playing God. Well, I wouldn't necessarily put it this way. If anything, I would say we're just kind of observing, you know, um, and it's more of a form of respect than a sacrilege, shall we say? But always remember where our lessons originally came from. Always remember where our initial thoughts and ideas as the indoor grow explosion developed in the late 60s, early 70s came from. It came from emulation of Mother Nature and the world around us. And as long as you base your ideas, your learning, your new experiments, and your new techniques out of the basic rough laws and rules of the world or outdoors or Mother Nature, you're usually going to be in a pretty good place to experiment and expand your techniques and develop them. Okay? Hashtag boom. Yeah, no, that makes sense though too, Roman. That makes sense too, buddy. Uh, Jeremiah, let's talk after the show. Shoot me a message. My brain is forgetting that conversation, but I'm sure it'll go back to it once you remind me. Message me after the show, bud. I agree with you. Peace. Have a great day. I mean, at the end of the day, too, yeah. Like, remember, like, we are growing living entities. A lot of people often ask, Uncle Potsquatch, how come your plants look so big all the time? Like, I see people running the same amount of light, if not more light than you. They're doing this, they're doing that, and nobody's buds are developing that way. My buds aren't developing that way, or it's not looking this way. The only thing I can really ever kind of come back to that might be setting that or myself apart a little bit is the energy I give off, right? Like, I mean, I spend time with my plants. I talk to them. Hell, we watch zombie movies together. Sometimes I just hang out and get drunk with my plants. Get stoned, get drunk, hang out, chat. You know what I mean? Like, they are living entities. They may not have a classical intelligence like we do, but they are intelligent. They are, if anything, energy-wise and emotions give off energy. We are electromagnetic beings, okay? Which actually affect the universe and the world around us, especially when it comes to living entities. So, remember that. Like, our plants are picking up what we are. They are like our children. Your children will become, at least initially, a function of what you teach them and the environment you grow them in, you know. And that basic premise is 100% something that also applies to the world of cannabis. Dankabis coin, shipping to the States, totally fine. And Sea of Green, I mean, typically anything that's got a good branchability would be something that's going to do well in a Sea of Green, giving you a lot of initial shoots, sort of the tree of life structure from early on. And especially if you have that happening without having to top that, that's a very relevant thing too. So I'm just testing some of these initial genetics out that we've just sort of done some F1 crosses on. But at the end of the day, I could foresee a majority of them working well in a sea of green. Um, Especially if the alien rifts are this weird marrying of the world of the alien rift to the orange Hindu. Uh, I'll have a better answer for you. Um, Once we see how they develop structurally. But I would say pretty much anything we've got on hand right now, would do a decent job with attention to detail in terms of a scrog and actually working it out and feeding it out throughout your net, etc. You messaged me, Jeremiah, because actually after the show, I got to run back to the brewery to get a list of new equipment together to order and give that to the owner so he can put an order in. I also want to go check on the staff and make sure the kitchen's okay and see if they need a hand with any of the prep work, etc. That happens, Roman. Some plants are extremely hard to do that in the same way. Scary but beautiful Return of the Mac. Bear with me, I'm just reading everybody. If I've missed anyone's messages, please reiterate and I'll address them. What's up, old Dutch Master? How you doing, buddy? What's up? Hey, Blast and Puff, been a while. How you doing, baby? Good to see you, man. You know, Blasted Puffin and bringing up internet trolls, like, don't worry about internet trolls, everybody. If you're starting a channel, if you're starting an online content of any sort, even if it's not cannabis related, you're always going to have trolls. And if you don't have any haters, you're doing something wrong, okay? Haters don't hate an insignificant brand. They don't hate an insignificant show, usually. It's not something, it's when we are doing something right, when we threaten people, when we threaten the status quo, that's where the trolls will come out. So if you're getting hated on by the trolls, don't let it get to you. Don't even sink to their level. Just smile. Look at me. What was Dink Gut's name? Not Green Gene. That was the first Dink Dink. The other one. Who's the one I recently lipped off and then we ignored him after one day? I was just like, go fuck yourself, idiot. He's a big bully and a loud-mouthed old man with a grow shop. I can't even remember his name now. Anyway, but like, look at how I handled that. You know, you could acknowledge something, you can address it briefly, then you move on, water off the duck's back. At the end of the day, you know, when someone comes at you and hates you and creates a buzz that way, there ain't no such thing as bad PR. And it's all about how you handle it. So keep your cool, keep your level head, think pragmatically, big picture, and then go from there. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, brother. Hey, no worries at all, CNCs. Much love, my friend. And may your weed titties be plentiful this year. Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with you there on that, Roman Reckless. And the only real trick, everybody, to get experience as a grower is just keep growing. And when we make mistakes, don't beat yourself up. Mistakes are the mother of invention. They're the mother of learning. When we make a mistake, we understand why that was a mistake. We learn from the mistake. The human race didn't develop all the cool, nifty things we've done over the thousands of years that we've had sort of organized society and doing cool things by never making a mistake. Most of the coolest shit comes from mistakes or a necessity, a shortcoming within where we're at. You know, necessity is the mother of invention, right? So rather than ever shit on yourself or get down on yourself for things like that, build yourself up, get excited. You know what I mean? Because you've learned something. You've expanded your knowledge, your approach, and your style. And that's a beautiful goddamn thing, in my humble 2 cents. Yeah, and it's very real, Mud Swat. Oh, what's up, Texas Squatch? I'm just reading. Oh, how far behind am I? Jesus, F. Louises. Ah, yeah. Thank you, Miss K's Garden. Dick Roundmouth. That's who I was referencing. Couldn't even remember the bloody name. 1 second here. Yeah, good job, Eugene. I'm happy for you, buddy. It's going to be epic once they're out and you're getting healthier again. Well, there's been a few of them blasted puffing over the years. The last one would have been Little Grow Boss. Oh, yeah. An angry bully who barely even really grows and just shits on people to make himself feel better about his own shortcomings. I mean, that's at least my basic Psych 101 read on just how he is and how he is. And at the end of the day, some people were like, oh, it's his shtick. You know, that's how he does it. And I'm like, well, then his shtick is wrong. Get bent. Either lift people up and help people or go fuck off. It's like, it reminds me of that old saying of, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything else at all. Right? And that doesn't mean don't stand up for yourself or don't stand up for things or say what needs to be said at certain times. You know what I mean? But at the same time, there is no excuse, especially in a community where we're supposed to be loving cannabis. We're supposed to be loving each other. Stoners are supposed to be happy and stoned and loving each other. Like, where does shitting on people and actually responding negatively and teaching people the wrong thing, by the way, too, because there is no my way or the highway in growing cannabis. That's just ludicrous. It shows how ignorant someone would be to actual growing if you think that. Again, going back to my original point of talking about how we're emulating Mother Nature, and there ain't no one way or the highway in Mother Nature. If anything, Mother Nature always finds a way. Jurassic Park. Yeah, no, I made a response video. You can find it, Blasted Puffin. Oh, Roman, I love you, buddy. Hell yeah, Sarah Coppin. How's it looking? 2 pounds. Nice. Now, is that indoors that you're doing that one, Sarah? Hey, thank you, Jansen Dennis. I appreciate it, buddy. Hell yeah, Roman. Dope. Let the trolls come. I have dealt with a plethora of trolls over the years, different swarths of them. I've had people trying to hack our websites. I've had people try to do all of this. And at the end of the day, don't let it get to you. Because really, at the end of the day, it's about how we handle our responses. It's how we carry ourselves and hold our heads high. And at the end of the day, you know what? Trolls and haters are actually a great boost to your ratings. It's genuinely, they think they're harming you, but in actuality, they're helping you. And it's like, all right, thanks for the help there, bud. It's just about how you handle yourself in terms of these things. You know what I mean? What happened with your plant, Miss Case Garden, by the way? Hell yeah, Soul Price. That's beautiful. Ooh, fun, Sarah. Send me a picture. I want to see that. That sounds dope. So RB, you can totally pull off grafting and have multiple strains coexisting. What would the point be? The only real point in my mind is, well, there's two. One is just cool. It's a cool kind of Franken experiment that's fun. The other real point to that is if you have a mother plant that you're wanting to keep multiple strains alive in a localized area that you can keep taking cuttings and singular cuttings of that genetic off of one plant, you can then graft a bunch of plants together. And if it takes and it holds, then you're good. And then you've got a mother plant that can provide you like 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of clones. So that's kind of the way it is. I'm probably super behind. No, Einstein, that'd be too much power. I've germinated seeds that are like 50, 60 years old personally, CNCs. I've got some stuff in there that I'm really hoping I'll be able to germinate, but it's about 40 to 50 years old. And in there is my genetic vault I'm pointing out, so bear with me here. I gotta play catch up here. Okay, everybody, thank you, Return to the Mac. I'm trying not to miss people. It could be, RB. That could be something that could definitely be a marketable thing for a nursery to do. Hell yeah. Awesome, Sarah. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, like a big Frankenmother RB, exactly. Yay, I found it. Do clones often dwarf? Not often, no. And really, I would say that clones from a strong genetic source typically won't dwarf in a classical where it's now a dwarf. What it typically will be underdeveloped root balls and other pathogenic issues that are in the tissues there that are robbing the plant from its natural genetic vigor. That's why, tissue culture cloning is really cool, because even though it takes a while, it is the industry standard now for big companies, and that's what they want to source from local small people to provide genetics that they rent then to the big LP. That's one of the things our company's going to be doing. But at the same time, it'll allow you to reinvigorate a genetic, aka removing all the pathogenic bullshit that's robbing that genetic of its natural vigor. Okay, so that's a big deal. Oh, so Miss K, if I may, is it actually 100% dead? And if you say yes, what does that mean to you? What does it look like currently? All right, give me a second, everybody. I'm going to take a sip of this, and I might take a very quick washroom break. Everybody, talk amongst yourselves for a minute or two. I'll be right back. I just got to pee. Oh, yeah. All right, everybody, 2 minutes. I'll be right back. I just got to pee. Talk amongst yourselves and stare at my chair. There we go. And we're back. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Diuretics happen. All right. Woohoo, we're back. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. What's up, Staggering Productions? How you doing, my friend? No, I mean, Einstein, I didn't want to freak out any of the people new to the channel, so maybe one day. Well, that's the thing you got to remember, everybody. When it comes to clouds and sun, okay, just because there's clouds there, I mean, it's still bright out. There's still photons coming through these clouds, okay? Is it a perfect light source with high power? No, but it's still there. It's still growing, you know what I mean? For example, my solar roof, if I have solar roof on house, it still make power on gray day. Less power, yes, but still does, right? Photons still present. They still come through. If they did not come through clouds, it'd be pitch black. It'd be very dark. Sarah, very, very, very soon. They will be available on the website. Very, very soon. Hey, Roman Reckless, do it. I mean, you know what? Good content and good videos that take time sometimes are some of the best ones, really. You know what I mean? So, sorry, everybody. There's like a big giant hair sticking out of my nose. Aging sucks. I get weird hairs growing out of my ears. I got the weird eyebrow hairs that grow super long out of my eyebrows now. God, imagine what I'm going to look like by the time I hit 60. Blasted Puffin went really, really well. Beans that have been produced. We've got the Galactic Citrus Shiva F1. The Ketone Kush by Ketone Kush by Cheese by Alien Rift hasn't been named yet. We've got what I'm calling Looney Hobbit, which was the Gazer's Madness crossed by Kaitungata Canadian White Russian. We've got more Canadian White Russian that I'm actually trying to develop. So this would be, it's not an F2. Like, I mean, the Kaytungus Canadian White Russian has been an ongoing strain that's been stabilized by the people in New Zealand that I got it from for a very long time. I'm taking it a certain specific route. I'm actually, even though it's like almost all sat, I found this weird sort of pheno of it that's very indica-y in terms of structure. Short, squat, tight nodes, big leaves. So I'm trying to create a weird subsect offshoot from that. So we've got that, and I'm going to call that an F2 currently. And it's coming from something that could be arguably considered like an F6 to F10. Now, you know, were there breeding and scrutiny of things the same as mine? No, probably not. So that's why I'm starting to count on mine as an F2 on that one. But that's kind of fun, right? And then we've got Orange Warrior Widow. Okay, so that's the Orange Hindu Kush. That was kind of that weird, cool, serrated leaf looking one. Remember that one, everybody, from early on in the last run? So then I took that, crossed that by Kaytungus Canadian White Russian as well. And the cool thing about that one is I believe I've inadvertently created a potential strain that can resist bud rot and PM and the super rain of British Columbia, Canada. What's my reasoning on that? Well, both the Orange Hindu Kush and the Kaytungus Canadian White Russian have been developed for many years in New Zealand in very temperate rainforest areas. And then if you look at the area where the original Orange Hindu Kush would have come from in India, it was also extremely wet there, right? So both strains in and of themselves have an ongoing track record of proving that they can resist certain things. And then by crossing them together with a bit of selective stabilization there, we might actually be able to create a strain that is so powerful in terms of its mold and PM and bud rot resistance that it might even be able to survive British Columbia, Canada, which is saying something because a lot of bloody rain here, man. But it went really well, Blasted Puffin, is I guess the moral of that story, my friend. I know a few of them are very into them. All of you, my Potsquatchers. There's many Potsquatchers out there that are really into the Korean natural farming these days. I haven't actually tried any of it. Caden would be the closest Potsquatch that lives to me that's been playing around with some of the concepts. I've read on it a bunch, and it's very interesting reading. And one of these days I'll get around to trying some. But you know, when you're building an international corporation, a CBD line, and being the rep on a lighting brand, as well as building your company, building all these other things, then trying to do the content, trying to do everything, as well as all the side admin stuff that comes with it. And now you're also a head chef of a brewery restaurant. You know, some things have to wait before you get a chance to play with them. But if it wasn't for the dose hair, I'd have no mustache. Oh, Stony Baker MD, I love it, buddy. Growing a Fu Manchu out of your nose? God, that's funny. If you're referencing the fact that short I put out wasn't landscape, Ganjanana, your mama, I actually switched it to landscape, and it still made it that way on the shorts. Shorts don't seem to function in the sort of the landscape 16:9 screen perspective on YouTube. It's weird, but I'm learning slowly but surely. I agree with you, Mudswat. It's really fun to watch the different stages and development of weed as it goes. Hell yeah, Fred Fury. So what are you going to be dropping, buddy? I love trimming too, Mudswat. When I have time, anyway. Yeah, so Blasted Puppet, you know what I mean? That was kind of like we weren't sure where we were going to go in the one tent, but then we ended up getting a cool male out of that alien rift. So we're like, well, let's cross this into some interesting stuff and see what we can do. I have, no pun intended, high hopes for the Galactic Citrus Shiva. No, it can't be because my dad gets him too, CNC, and he does not smoke pot. But see, WB grows, that's awesome because we're on a fight with YouTube to acknowledge our existence as a legitimate brand, as a partner of the program. So where before I resisted it, now I'm at war with YouTube for allowing us to exist and be an equal part of the YouTube community. So that's why whenever anyone sees a commercial, it makes me happy. It's like, haha, take that, YouTube. Right? No, exactly, Sarah Coppin. So, and then this strain also comes from some pretty hot areas, so it's actually quite potentially ready to handle high heat and high light intensity as well. Stony Baker MD, 45 minutes, if not 42. There's a reason why BC growers were kind of the reason for the indoor grow explosion that has led to all of us existing. If I get the chance to, Roman, I'd love to, buddy. But for now, I'll probably just use my bottle newts. Yeah, no, Tony. Today was free beer day at my job. So once a week, I'm allowed to either have a free growler or they've got a lot of this table saison left, so I can take 3-4 packs of these. So I take 3-4 packs of those because that's more beer than a growler. Dude, that's crazy, Mud Swat. I don't even know if I know what that is, but it sounds interesting though. Okay, cool, Roman. Dope. Hell yeah. I mean, you know what? And Sarah Coppin, like, it's funny because like I rotate between different things that I like doing, different things that I don't like doing. And one of the things I really love now is again like screw making keef with my dry ice. I mean, I got mad at it now. I loved it for almost a year, and then I'm like, nope, I hate it now. And I'm back on the bubble hash train, man. I've got so much hash upstairs that I've made, and it looks so good. I'm also a really big fan in general of hash, so I love hash. I love smoking hash. I love eating hash. All the space cakes in my fridge right now. Those are hash. I mean, I love hash. Hash is my friend. Yeah, so Tony Clifton, one, I definitely do. One, that sounds awesome. Sounds like a very interesting cross. I'd be curious to see if you can create it into something that would have both a blueberry and lemon note to it. Basically, get your fertilization starting early. Don't do like a pollination where you're bringing in pollen and doing it that way. Lock them in with the male. Let the male do its job. And keep the male throwing nut until all the pistils are shriveled up. Oh, okay, cool. I'm trying to remember what I sent you. Probably some Alien Rift, maybe, or maybe it was some of Gazer's stuff. Can't remember now. What's up, Freedom Grower? How you been doing? It's been a while, thing. Yeah, so Israel Wells, classically, if you're using any form of whether it's reverse osmosis filter or just even like a basic kind of a carbon sort of a filter, it will strip a lot of the calcium and magnesium or other minerals of your water out. So adding a CalMag into that is usually quite advisable because typically on like a lot of filters, like you're going down to anywhere from like 1 or 2 up to maybe 10 ppm, which means there's like no minerals left in your water. So adding in supplementary mineral action is a very good thing. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Vic Victor? How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the show. It happens. I mean, at the end of the day, blasted puffin. My main thing in terms of trolls is when it happens. These are just sad, lonely, broken people somewhere, and it breaks my heart. That not that they're coming at me. Let them say what they will. I'm not worried about that. Do it. I don't give a shit. I'm bigger than that. But it does make me sad though that like someone's life is so sad and lonely and broken that that's what they've resorted to somehow bring themselves some form of distraction from their own pain or their own sort of loneliness or interior shortcomings that they're too scared to truly own or admit. So really, for me, when it comes to trolls, I actually pray for them, man. Not that I believe in God, but I'm more of a spiritual person. But I wish the best to them, and I hope that whatever pain is causing them to exist in the way that they are will help them one day kind of come out of that. Because it doesn't sound like a fun, happy existence, in my humble 2 cents. Oh, I mean, I don't really have a favorite vape. I mean, if I'm doing rosin or like wax or something CNC, I'm a big Evolve Plus guy. I like the Evolve Plus sort of shatter and wax rosin pen thing. I like that one. I don't like their bigger version of it. I like the standard Evolve Plus with the dual quartz coils rather than the 4 coil. If we're talking nicotine vapes, I order Vupu. I'm a Vupu Argus Pro kind of guy. Wow. The lights at my house seem to be flickering a bunch. Power and hope sometimes is a little intermittent, so. Right? I mean, Sarah, I've always wanted to get myself a trim bin because I think that they're actually very cool too. I find them very, very dope, shall we say. Yes, I actually concur with Roman on that. So, one, pollen has to be mature for it to be viable. What does maturity mean? If it isn't popped really yet, it's not 100% mature. It's kind of like an early harvest when you don't have kind of a fully matured flower. So I'm actually like harvesting pollen is storing pollen. You can do it, but when I can, I'm a bigger fan of just doing it naturally. Lock a male in a room with some ladies and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? But that's also where you get a maximized seed production, right? And then you start it early. Knock those ladies up early. Week 2 is kind of when I put that male in. If you can control it in such a way, let them flower for a couple of weeks, no male. Then you lock that male in. So it actually gives the flowers kind of a bit of an actual explosion there. And that's just going to maximize your seed production. If you go from the get-go, sometimes it'll minimize things. So instead of getting maybe like 7,000 viable, you might get 1 to 3,000 viable or something like that. Still making a lot of seed though, by the way. Oh, Mudswat, if you were here, buddy, I'd cut you off a piece of this Hindu Kush hash of mine that I've made, and it would rock your socks. Random letters. I, for a long time, was very into the dry ice for making hash. I'm less sold on it now. I personally feel that dry ice is zapping a lot of the natural essential oils out of our trikes. So for me, that's actually almost not as desirable these days. So we're going with a bubble hash or doing a bubble bag, where it takes a while and it's frustrating-ish a bit. Get to a good, mode, you can get through a bunch of it in a day. And so that's the way I like to do it. I normally just do mine in bubble bags in a bucket. I don't have the money to afford one of those fancy washing machines. One day I'd like to get one though. Okay, cool, Mudswat. Thank you. I can't click the link because it'll end the show. Can someone save that link from Mudswat to send me in a message later? I want to check it. Hmm. I will say though, Jansen Dennis too, like some plants just don't have a huge hunger like other plants do either though too. Like I've had plants that never self-cannibalize. Like that Platinum Cookies Godbud cross that we did very early on the channel. Didn't really yellow much at all. And it didn't really have any huge hunger. It was very low feed the whole run, even though it made giant donkey dicks buds, it was crazy. No, exactly. Compassion, but also clear boundaries at the same time, Mudswat. What does that mean, Tony Clifton? Eat the Mubarak. I agree with you, freedom grower. It's a good way to go, Miss K's Garden. Stony, that one might put you in jail. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just trying to read here. Oh, Blasted Puffin. I'd love it if we actually captured a ghost or something like that. I'm super into ghost hunting, everybody. It's one of my 6 side pleasures. I love the paranormal and ghost hunting and weird shit like that. there wouldn't be much. My house is pretty worded and has a lot of protections. Hell, the Baphomet on the front of the house is like an ironclad seal that you can't get through. Like so, it'd have to be something that would be allowed with my current warding on the property to be even allowed in here. But I do have a bunch of ghost homies that are part of my crew, so they might even pop up. Hey, ghost homies, if you're here, man, feel free to do something behind my left thing and fuck around. Let's freak the people out. So Tony Clifton, how do you collect the pollen? I mean, that's one of the things I love about our baking sheet style lights is actually that a lot of the pollen will go up into the light, but the light doesn't get hot enough to really denature it. So, you don't leave it forever, but you can kind of scrape it off that. When you're done your run, let the male plant dry out. Okay. Then you're going to take that. I typically would put it into a big bag, classically a clear one, just so you can see kind of where it is, and then seal it up and beat the crap out of it. Okay. Then pull the plant out, dispose of it, and then collect all the pollen that's in that bag. And then I'd probably go through and I'd remove any particulate really quickly if I can as well. Yeah. Number one, Matrix Man. What's happening, buddy? Good to see you. What's up, Visible Farms, Bill Goy? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, so random letters, the only reason I share that is because I've done it a lot. And it does do a decent enough job, but I do find that it does seem to zap a lot of the natural essential oils out of the keef. So that's where I've kind of, even though it's more labor intensive, gone back to doing the bubble thing now. I just prefer what it does. Oh, okay. Thanks, Buzzbot. Yeah, dry trim is the way to go in my humble 2 cents as well, Roman Reckless. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading. Now be a good boy, Stoney. Be a good boy. What? Return to the Mac? I still don't get it. Hey, thank you, Random Letters. Yeah, we typically do our show for about an hour and a half. Victor, I've got a couple of videos talking about breeding. That one where I was doing a controlled pollination on singular branches with brown paper bags. I don't know. Like, there's been other videos where I mention it, but what I'll do is I will make that. There's a new video I can make sooner rather than later about just talking about seeds and creating seeds. I'll make that. I'll have that one up. I'll try to bang that together in one week because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, I might even have a little bit of footage that I can pull upon and then just voice over on it. And I'll take a look at what I have digitally to do that. I mean, I deleted most of the content I had on my phone because we're on a new phone now, so I switched over and deleted all the crap. But long story short, I can make that video for you. If I can't come up with a way to truly do it, I mean, it'd be nice to have a mail and a breeding project going on while we do it, but I think I could probably do it with pictures or something like that too. I'll make a video on creating seeds and the breeding of cannabis and making your own seed there for you, buddy. Thank you, JP Page, too. Yeah, I mean, random letters for me when I'm trimming, typically, like my skin will get a little reactionary sometimes, and I'll get a little bit of hivey action, but it just happens. Hell yeah, blasted puffin. Also, too, in terms of long-term pollen storing, everybody, you can actually keep it in the freezer, and not like a super deep freeze, kind of like just sort of barely into freezing. But usually you can keep pollen in a freezer if you get it fresh and get a good viable pollen. It'll stay anywhere from 1 to 4 years typically. Every year that goes by, some of that viability is lost, but that's just part of the reality. Miss K's Garden, I dry my shit. So I don't do fresh frozen. I've never been a fan of fresh frozen, to be completely honest with you. So I typically will allow it to dry out. Once the second my dry period is done, not cured, just dry, I then put it right into the freezer and then I go from there. Hell yeah, JP Page too. Big jars of the way, Sarah Coppin. And if anyone's wondering, like, how do I get a lot of big jars affordably? Just go to a dollar store. Almost every single curing jar I've ever bought came from a dollar store. Why would you go to Walmart and spend, $10 to $20 for a jar that you can literally find the same jar at a dollar store for like $2 or $3? Thank you very much, Return of the Mac. My one buddy Rashid, he's also Muslim, and he was making a bunch of posts about it today too. I'm not super on the hip knowledge of all the intricate points of Ramadan and all of that, but my best wishes and celebratory things go out to all of you, of the people of Islam. And I hope this holy period for all of you in celebration and appreciation and all of that, which is a big part of what it is, to my understanding anyway, is going wonderful for all of you. Hell yeah. Genetic integrity is hard to come by unless you know where to go. Don't worry, we're bringing that back, Tony Clifton. Uh, what's that question? Visible Farms? Thank you, Einstein. We appreciate it. Yeah, and you can do that, Roman. I mean, I've got a bunch of buddies who swear by the flour dilution or the cutting it with flour. I've also, it seemingly sometimes makes the pollen last slightly longer. I've always just felt weird doing it. If I were to do anything, maybe DE would actually be, because it's so light, lighter than flour is. That would almost maybe be a beneficial thing. It's never occurred to me to use DE, to be honest with you. That's a new one for me, but I like it. I like that idea. It makes sense. Yeah, and so Miss K's Garden, just dry it to where it's just perfectly dry. Don't worry about curing it or anything like that, and then just toss it right into the freezer there. And then, after about at least a week, I like to let it deep freeze for about a week before I run it, and go from there. I've actually got a shitload still left in the freezer right now. I got probably another 3 or 4 runs to do my bubble bags. Pilgor, what was your scratchy face about? I'm confused. Hell yeah, God's not your mama. Hell yeah. Ooh, so also just a side personal note I'd love to share with everyone. So my pulled pork has been very well received at the brewery, by the way, everybody. They had this thing that they were kind of jokingly calling at the brewery the curse of the pulled pork, which is in the last year. So this brewery's been open for about a year. Respect to them. They opened a brewery during a pandemic. And they've been through 3 chefs before me. And 2 at least out of the 3 were like red sealed chefs and this that. Hugely pretentious people. The thing you'll come to learn in the cooking world is a red sealed chef isn't necessarily worth fuck all. Just because you have your red seal doesn't mean you know how to work. Doesn't mean you have vision. Doesn't mean you have work ethic. Doesn't mean you know how to lead people. It doesn't mean anything. A lot of people get their red seal, walk around like a pretentious piece of shit, and a majority of red seal chefs I've ever had a cook off against, I beat. Okay, so these poor people, and since Miss Potsquatch is going to school in the fall, right? And you know what? I want to put myself in a position that one, I'm not worrying about the company financially producing enough, right? Like it's still a new startup, so we're gonna get it there, and it's almost there now. But I don't want to depend on that, so I was like, well, I'll take another job on top of all of this too, just to kind of make sure that everything's good to go. And then that way the wife doesn't have to worry about, financial realities when she goes back to school. So I took on this job. I vowed technically to never go work in a kitchen again. I was a head chef of a place once upon a time, but I was like, screw it, let's do it. Let's have some fun because they didn't really have any structure. They kind of have half of a pre-existing menu that I'm now rebuilding, keeping some elements, bringing actually some original elements that they haven't done in a long time back, and doing a bunch of other fun things with it. But I'm getting pretty excited. Like everyone just loved it. So the curse of pulled pork was like the pulled pork that they had always had sucked. Everyone who tried to do it there did it wrong. It didn't really taste very good. It was never very popular. And I've blown them away with this pulled pork. And it's like I put beer in almost everything I cook. So I'm like perfect for cooking at a brewery. And so I've made Uncle Potsquatch's Dark Side of Town pulled pork. What does that mean? Why do I call it Dark Side of the Town? Well, the beer I use in that's called the Dark Side of Town, which is kind of like, I don't know. Is it a stout? Is it a porter? I don't know. It feels like kind of like a part porter, part stout. And it's kind of spicy and it's kind of got a little bit more bite, like more of a Murphy's rather than a Guinness. You know what I'm saying? Which I prefer. Go Murphy's. Fuck Guinness. No offense, Guinness, but Murphy's is better. One's from Cork and one's from Dublin. And long story short, Murphy's is from Cork. Go Cork. I have no predisposed opinions on this at all. But it's I finally dialed in the recipe. The first couple of fires were great, and then I've been working on dialing in that recipe and kind of getting it to the place where I really, really, really want it to taste. And this last batch kind of came out basically almost perfect now. And the owner loved it. Everybody loved it. They saw what I was going for, and I had a really sweet message from the owner the other day. He's like, "So my eldest, she just ate your pulled pork sandwich, and her honest words were." Oh my God, eating Uncle Potsquatch's pulled chicken sandwich or pulled pork sandwich, I am in heaven. So we're actually going to be adding another pulled meat or protein sandwich to the menu. We're going to be doing also a pulled chicken sandwich with my scratched chicken and rib sauce I'm going to make out of their beer and stuff like that. Like, oh man, it's good. We're going to be doing a bunch of fun things. We're going to be making house-made arancini, everybody. For those of you who don't know what an arancini is, it's basically a risotto ball. It's breaded. It's beautiful, served with a balsamic glaze on kind of like a bruschetta mix that I make in-house, and it's actually quite nice. Very simple, but very tasty. And we're going to be doing Mrs. Potsquatch come up with this sort of mac and cheese ball recipe that she's doing. I'm like, hell, let's put that on the menu. We're going to be bringing back desserts too. So I'm basically taking my new pot brownie recipe, taking the drugs out. And we're going to make a super fudge brownie. Okay. So it's a super fudge brownie topped a la mode, which means, some vanilla ice cream with candied nuts with a kick. So a mixed nut that I candied in-house using beer too. It comes out beautifully. It's got a little cayenne, a little cumin in there as well. Like it's got some nice kick to it, that sweet and savory kind of element. So that goes on top, and then we're going to do a salted caramel drizzle, also made with the beer. Oh, it's going to be wonderful, everybody. We also make a lot of in-house pretzels. Pretzels are another thing that we do. I'm just talking about food because I like food, and we're stoners. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can justify talking about food in the show. And I kind of want to take one of our fresh baked pretzels the second it comes out of the oven, dip it in chocolate, drizzle it with white chocolate and salted caramel. I don't know. I'd eat it. And that's usually kind of my thing in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I make food that I like. CNC, hey man, you know what? If you're not a pork eater, that's all right. That's why I'm putting the pulled chicken sandwich on the menu. Okay, we're gonna have options for people who don't eat pork. For me, pork fat rules in my mind. I come from a long line of pork eaters. I grew up as a child watching Emeril Lagasse. For those of you who don't know who Emeril was, check it out. It was a lot of fun. Bam! Right? But pork fat rules. And if you're not into pork fat, that's all right. I will respect that and stand by you. That's why I make a pulled chicken sandwich for you. But that means more pork for me. We're talking about food, Einstein. And the fact is, Budswat, though, too, in terms of the pigs, coating themselves in mud, like that's a big thing of them doing that is actually to keep the temperatures down in a lot of areas where they live. Pork is actually, oddly, one of the cleanest meats actually out there. It also depends on what you feed it, right? So if people are feeding crap to their pigs, then that's all deposited in the pork fat, obviously. But if they're healthy pigs that were raised properly, pork is a very clean meat. The only thing I do feel guilty about is one, how intelligent pigs are. I've hung out with a lot of pigs, and they are stupid smart, like almost dolphin level smart. So I do feel bad about that. I do feel bad about that. But that's why I love eating wild boar meat, for example, because the fact is they're not natural to the ecosystem here and a lot of ecosystems around me. So really, by hunting them and eating them, we're actually saving the planet. So you know what? Hey, boar bacon plus saving the planet. Hashtag boom. All right. But that's just me. Soy flavored synthetic pork hoofs. CNC, soy is one of the worst things that you can eat, health wise, especially for men, everybody. Okay, I'm going to warn you on this one. As someone who's had testicular cancer, who has survived testicular cancer, who is now down a nut from testicular cancer, they called me the great and mighty monoball. You got to be really careful about products that have a lot of plant based estrogen in them for us as men for our generalized health. Funnily enough, estrogen treats prostate cancer, causes ball cancer, though is one of the number one leading sort of theories on where ball cancer comes from is elevated plant-based estrogen in our diet. So be very careful. Soy, huge amounts of plant-based estrogen there. Plus, soy is one of the most refined things on the planet. Processed food is what kills us, everybody. We got to avoid processed at all costs if we can, okay? Another thing, sadly, that contains a lot of plant-based estrogen, hops. So drinking very hoppy beer, now that is dangerous. Oh my God. So I'm pretty sure drinking Fat Tug, which had an IBU, is an ABV of about 7.6, an IBU, I think, of about 75, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, be very careful. I swear to God, I drank those things religious, like 4 to 10 of them a day, 4 years, and then I got cancer. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that's maybe what got it. And then right before I got sick with cancer, I ate a lot of soy because I dated a vegan for a while at the time. And so anyway, long story short, just for the men at home, okay, the biological men anyway, and also too for someone who may be a trans person who's taking testosterone. I don't foresee that helping your transition either. So, you know, maybe avoid it too. But for men, for us, biomen, where the issue is where the estrogen, the plant-based estrogen interacts with the androgynous testosterone producing tissues of sort of that testicle, right? And then that creates that genetic fragment that then replicates. And eventually, once it replicates, turns into a tumor. Pretty sure that's where Larry the ball tumor, who is my nut tumor, came from, to be honest, completely with you. Yeah. Seldom seen. Your food sounds way better than your gardening. Laugh out loud, dude. My weed's better than my food is. I mean, I'll go toe to toe with any chef in the world, and I'm not. I don't consider myself a chef. I'm technically a chef. I've held that job. I hold it again, but I don't like to think of myself as a chef. I would prefer to call myself, you know, the kitchen manager, food man. I'm a country cook and cook. I am a cook. I will go toe to toe with your grandma, and I will outcook your grandma. For those of you in the UK, I will out Yorkie your South London grandma. That's right, Yorkie off time. But my weed's definitely better than my cooking. My cooking good. I won't toot my own horn too hard, but I make good food. I know how to feed people. Peace out, Seymour Cannabis. But my weed creations are definitely superior to my food. I'd say that. Blasted Puffin, we're talking about good food right now, but you know we could talk pheno hunting too. That could be fun. That could be fun, JP Page too. That's true. No, I love mudswa. I love pork as well myself, my friend. Oh, I feel you, CNC. And at the end of the day, like you know, I have a lot of friends who are either Jewish or Muslim and can't eat pork. And for me, that's kind of been fun as someone who loves to cook and cook for people I care about because it's challenged me to create flavor in ways that I wouldn't be my normal go-to way to kind of make it kind of, you know, something that they can all eat. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, I got a few Jewish buddies who still eat pork and they love it. I guess they're not the most observant of those in Judaism, but they love it too. Yeah, yeah, seldom seen. Go, Emerald Lagasse. I dig it. Voiceless pilot, my girl says my rooster is the best bait. Well, it sounds like you've got a satisfied lady, my friend. And that's a good thing. Yeah, I actually found out, Sarah, speaking of things that you're allowed in your town, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to have at least 4 chickens here. Not allowed a rooster, but that's okay. I just want it for the eggs. Oh, Stony. Oh, Soylent Green. Ah, yes. Oh, Stony. Oh, bro, I love buffalo meat too. Big fan of buffalo. Not that I get it very often. It's been a couple of years since I've been able to have a good buffalo steak or some ground buffalo, but quite tasty as well. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Corn is actually one of the worst things for us. Part of the reason why, not soy, but corn became such a staple of all of our diets was actually after the end of the World War II. All of Europe's in ruin. The whole world's kind of fucked up, and it's like, how do we feed the world's population? So that's in steps corn. It's a very interesting thing of 20th century history. Look into it. It's very very cool. I want chicken so bad, Sarah. I want chicken so bad. I like bison too, blasted puffin. It's okay. Bison, buffalo, they're cousins. They're basically the same thing in my mind. I believe it, Roman Reckless. Corn syrup, sadly, is in majority of food production all throughout North America, and we really shouldn't eat it. CSLRC Lauren says, "What is wild boar bacon like? It is one of the closest things to heaven in your mouth I've ever tried. You know, wild boar bacon is amazing. Sadly, if you were to go buy it, it's one of the most expensive meats you'll ever find these days. Typically in Canada right now for a kilogram, so that's 2.2 pounds, I believe, America, of boar bacon is going to run you anywhere, and this is Canadian, anywhere from like $40 to $75 a kilo now. Hope, British Columbia, Canada, Tony, is where I'm from. Oh, Einstein. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just trying to read. So CNC, one, prostate cancer. As weird as this is going to sound, traditional hash oil or RSO suppository up his butt will more than likely help, if not get him cancer free. Um, for a long period of time, there was a number of males, sort of early 40s to late 50s that I knew. So I made a lot of RSO for them and just hooked them up. And 3 out of the 4 are completely cancer free now. The fourth is almost cancer free, and none of them require surgery. It does sound weird. It was a little weird for me at first when this group of guys who knew me were like, "Can you make us some RSO to put up our butts?" And then when I realized what they were talking about, though, I was like, "Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense." So as weird as it sounds, traditional hash oil, or RSO as most call it these days, suppositories are an amazing option to try to treat prostate cancer. I would also strongly encourage taking it through an oral means through sublingual absorption. Make it a little tincture with olive oil. Drop it under your tongue a couple times a day. Absorb it through the soft tissues of your mouth into your bloodstream, and that combined with the suppository, my God, you're laughing. Well, Miss K's garden. I mean, I've broken myself a lot, learned a lot over the years, and I've been learning a lot recently with getting back into shape and getting healthier and stuff as well. So, I'm always happy to share the weird thoughts in my head. That's probably true, Mud Swat. I love beef so much, though. But CNC, if you ever have any questions, though, about how to utilize cannabis in terms of different forms of cancer, as a cancer survivor, I'm more than happy to share what I've learned and what I know. I've currently myself helped 10 people be cancer free and get off the cancer surgery list through random concoctions I've made, and then obviously their natural treatments that they were doing. What's up, Chef Light 420? I would say Stony Baker MD. I don't know if I would say fat is the gateway to taste, I would say fat is flavor. That's why vegan cooking and doing it properly can be quite tricky, but then we can also utilize sort of natural fats and pair them with certain spicing regimens, as it were, to really kind of make it work, like coconut oil, right? Like, I mean, you'd be astonished what you can achieve with a good coconut oil. You just got to be a little creative with it, though. You know what I'm saying? Roman, it's because it piss off my neighbors, bro. Yeah, pork gravy is technically a thing. I mean, I typically wouldn't make a gravy out of pork myself, but I would maybe make more of a jus, kind of a sauce type of a thing out of maybe the drippings from that. I'd filter it, refine it, build it, and then probably do something like that. So it'd be kind of like a gravy, but not quite a gravy. Oh, you're a lucky man, Fred Fury. You're a lucky man. I agree with you, Mud Swap, 100%. Huh. Well, I've never heard of them, but I'll have to look it up, Sarah Kaufman, because I'm going to need something that can handle the cold. That's bloody sure. Went to minus 30 here this winter. Roman Reckless, well, that's just normal bacon. Normal bacon here in Canada right now is going to be running you anywhere from $10 to $30 a pound. Oh, I feel you, Trichrome's Rocky Socks. Classically, a pack of bacon is 1 pound, Mudswan. Yeah, right, Texas Squatch? Well, that's the thing, Texas Squatch. Here, right now I can go over to Alberta and get paid $75 a head for taking out wild boar. And I get to keep the meat too. You have no idea how badly part of me wants to drive to Alberta right now. Grab my SKS because you know what? I could do it with my SKS. Just got to get the shot right. No, no worries at all, CNC. So if you want to get a hold of me, I mean, obviously I'm on the Facebook and I'm on Instagram and stuff like that. But you can also email me at potsquatch420@gmail.com as well. What's up, Michigan native? Cheers back to you, baby. Good to see you. Well, my friends, my family, I love you. It's been a great show, as always. And it's so good to kind of be back into the swing of things. And it's really nice to just hang out with all you. And of course, they would have Einstein. The first time people would have tasted refined sugar cane, I believe they would have gotten high. You can still get high off sugar now, even though we live in such a high sugar-based diet now. But I should probably pop off here. I've got to go pop back to the brewery for a bit, get my equipment list ready for the owner to order, and then make sure that the kitchen's going okay, and then helping people with the prep. So, my friends, my family, like, subscribe if you're new here. Thank you so much. It really does help us in terms of getting things going. For those of you, all of you who pay for the memberships, truly appreciate it. It is never required for you to ever pay a penny or to pay a membership fee to be part of this community or to learn from us, okay? But for those of you who are in a piece to and who choose to, thank you ever so much. It really does help us keep things going. And yeah, tell your friends. We're a safe place and a safe community for all people to come be a part of, okay? And, check out potsquatchsales.com, the very soon to be completely operational store. We're going to buy all of your wonderful swag, seeds, CBD, all that wonderful crap. And then much more to come in months to come. Check out the Potsquatch Growers community on Facebook. Please answer the questions, okay? It is a liability, but if you answer the questions, then we can just let you in. And everybody's welcome there as well. Check us out on Instagram, Potsquatch Growers. If you see a balding, bearded idiot, you're in the right place, all right? We also have a TikTok where occasionally I release stupid videos, in my opinion, that I find at least amusing. Also, check out pretty much, I think I said everything. I mean, technically we have a Twitter, but I don't fucking do anything with it, so. Also, too, if you'd like to grow like Uncle Pot Squatch, check out Squatch Lighting Systems. If someone could share the link to that, I'm sure one of you has the link to the lights. Please share the updated one that actually works and takes them to the page. That'd be great. Check out Squatch Lighting Systems, brought to you by SoulStrip. Some of the most affordable professional grade tech around, and we're the only company designing our stuff to be able to be fixed. Remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves, love your plants, and remember, don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake. But it's how we learn. And remember, a little bit of random kindness, compassion, and decency, even if it's just smiling to a stranger. Potsquatchsales.com is our swag store, Kanchanana. That's not the one for the lights, though. That's a separate website. We will have a link built into that website that'll take you to the lights there as well. But much love to you all, okay? And remember, be nice, be kind. The world is in a dark place these days, and if we have any hope in hell of moving forward as the human race, we got to learn compassion and to stop treating each other like crap. All right, everybody. I love you. Keep it real. Peace and love. Word to your mother, baby. All right.